yeah, oh yeah.
And I had a feeling of great triumph and victory.
Yeah. Let the truth be told. Want the truth, you came to the right show, yeah. Talk to me, tell me what's going on. Alan and EMJ, we talk about back in the day to up to date. And you know it's nothing but love and no hate. FD Reese gave us the okay. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the Lineage Show. Okay, let's go. The Lineage.
From the front line that march, to my left, marched Jose Williams holding his ball. I march next to him. Mrs. King marched next to me. Dr. King marched next to her. On the way to the Capitol, you hear Dr. King make that speech that day. I sat on that platform, looked out over that sea of humanity, and I had a feeling of great triumph and victory. After having gone through all of the indignities, all the sacrifices, not all seemed great.
The Lineage.
Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. Once again, we appreciate everybody joining us. I love this part of the week, man. It's Wednesday. First Nurse Kimberly Reese, she gives it a couple of titles: Wind Down Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, all of that. So it's all of that. This is the Wednesday, last show before Christmas. So I know everybody is this week they're getting together their last minute shopping. They're getting together their menu items. Spend time with their family. So this is always a great time of the year. But once again, we appreciate everybody that's joining us on the Lineage Podcast. Got a great show lined up for you today, so we can discuss a couple of things. But this is a continuation of last week. Last week's title was Hard Truth or Soft Lies. And this is pretty much Hard Truth or Soft Lies, Part 2. We're going to focus on a little parenting for the majority of the show today. So all my parents chime in. So y'all know what time it is. First Nurse Kimberly Reese is doing First Nurse things. So she's not here today, but y'all know she always leaves us her video and her health segment whenever she's away. So we got that coming up. But before we get started in each show, I always do the rundown of what we have and what you need in your collection, what have you. Well, first thing you need is the Selma Self-Sacrifice. This is the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese. This goes from his childhood to his grade school challenges, to his adulthood, family man. It speaks about his whole life on the grand scheme of things. Now, if you don't know who FD was, and if you do know who FD was, I'll let you know that you can't write his whole life in one book. FD really can have about 3 or 4 books about his life, but written by himself and Mrs. Kathy Walters. They did a great job of trying to condense everything of different categories about his life in this one book. So please get this book. It is on Amazon. Once again, the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, Selma's Self-Sacrifice. The mugshot you see on here, July 65, is when they tried to charge him with embezzlement. He was arrested. They tried to charge him with embezzlement, but that's a whole nother, we can go into that a whole nother day about Reverend Dr. F.D. Reese. So get that book if you do not have that book already. Also, if you have not booked a tour, F.D. Reese Historical Tour, that is a tour that me and my brother host. When the tour is booked, we drive to Selma and we start the tour in the historical site, which is the house of our grandfather and our grandmother, where they raised their 5 children. Like I said, which is a historical site in the state of Alabama. We start there and we accompany you to different parts of Selma where our grandfather impacted As far as where the Teachers March was playing, where it began, we take you to the courthouse where they will beat down the steps. We walk across the bridge with you, and we pass by the church that he pastored for 50 years, the Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church. So you don't want, if you haven't booked this tour, please book this tour. We're booking more now. We first started the tour, so please get this tour under your belt. Please get that tour under your belt. Also, if you do not have apparel with FD Reese's signature and his silhouette on it, that and many other things on www.historyonapparel.com. You want to get some of these items. As you see here, it is a t-shirt with his silhouette and his signature. We also have many other things with signatures, silhouettes. We have our podcast, our Lineage Podcast logo on some of the items. It's a lot of things. It's so many to mention, but shirts, leggings, socks, book bags, laptop holders, whatever you need, we got it. So go to historyonapparel.com and get you some apparel. Last but not least of the Lineage Podcast announcement, we have been announcing the Historical Artifacts Library Tour. We will be in the Ellenwood Library, the County Line Library. That's 4331 River Road, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294. We will be there this Saturday. The Artifacts Library Tour is when we, as a foundation, we host 8 to 10 artifacts, and we go down the timeline, talk about Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, talk about Selma, talk about the voting rights movement. The special thing about this one is toys will be given out at this event. Toys will be given out at this event. So we know how important that giving is in this season, and to be honest, everyone's not fortunate enough to give. So as a foundation, man, wherever we can help, wherever we can lend a hand, we want to do that. So we have been blessed to have toys. We will be giving the community out toys. Also, so you will be learning about history you've never seen, history you've never heard. You'll also be able to get your children some toys. So what a great event this will be. It's a blessing for us to be able to do this. Once again, the Artifacts Library Tour, December 23rd, this Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the County Line Ellenwood Library. That's 4331 River Road, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294. So come out and join, and fellowship with us. And we give back to the community. It's a great thing. This one of the things we like to do out of many, the podcast and giving out and helping the community out. So please come out, man. It's I think this is our fourth. Is that our fourth or fifth library? Fourth library. And the turnout has always been good. It's a great time. You come and you learn some things that you've never heard before. And some people are repeat. We had a couple of families that came to one and then they came to the other and brought more people. So that's always good to see that people are yearning for history that they've never heard before. So please come out and join us on that. Y'all already know what time it is. First Nurse Kimberly Reese, as I said, she's in the field, for lack of better words, today. She's doing First Nurse things, but she did leave us with her health segment. Now, this health segment, of course, she's going to provide us with the great information on the health side that she always do, but y'all have to listen closely because this health segment, she's giving away a little something special. 'Tis the season. You know what time it is. So listen to what First Nurse Kimberly Reese has to say, and we will be back and we'll discuss the topic. So First Nurse Kimberly Reese coming up right now.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. This is your First Nurse Kimberly, and 'tis the season for giving. So for today's show, I'll be giving out a Christmas gift. The Christmas gift will be a first aid kit. The Christmas gift will be given to the one who gives the correct answer first before the end of the show. As mentioned last week, December is HIV/AIDS Awareness Month. So the question is, what is the full medical term for the abbreviation of HIV? And what is the full medical term for the abbreviation of AIDS? The first person who places the correct answers in the comments before the end of the podcast will win the Christmas gift. My medical tip of today is spread joy and love by simply giving a dose of a warm smile or a hug and encouraging words to someone. Proverbs 17 verse 22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries the bones. Thessalonians 5 verse 11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Spread the gift of love and joy and cherish each moment with your friends and family this holiday season. Don't forget to leave your answers in the comment section. And whoever wins, please inbox your address to either Alan, MJ, or I, and I'll send your gift in the mail as soon as possible. Happy holidays.
We appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese giving us that health tip. And like she said, December is HIV and AIDS Awareness Month. So please govern yourselves accordingly. If you have the answers, you can put them in the comments. I will be giving the answers away at the end of the show, but we'll see. The first person that gets both of them right, you have to tell the name of the abbreviation for HIV and the name of the abbreviation for AIDS. So the first person to get both of them right, I'm not gonna give none away. The first person to get both of them right in the comments will receive the first aid kit for First Nurse Kimberly Reese and the Lynch podcast. So this is great. Go ahead.
Some cats hitting Google right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They done left. Don't hit Google. Come on back. Yeah, but we appreciate y'all joining us. So let's talk about this is called Hard Truth to Soft Lies 2. We'll get into our first kind of topic. We're gonna discuss this briefly. Hold on, let's get okay. So we I didn't have to wait to the end of the show. Miss Nina Hatcher. She has both of them right. Let's put it up. Miss Nina Hatcher, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Immunodeficiency syndrome is the AIDS abbreviation, and she has the HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, is the HIV. Jeff, you were, look at this. Jeff, you were 1 minute late. Jeff, what he did, he put the first one, then he didn't put the second one. Nina beat him to that one, and then he put yeah, my bad. Yeah, maybe next time, Jeff. But Miss Nina Hatcher, she is our winner, so we'll make sure Miss Nina, we'll get with First Nurse Kimberly Reese, and she'll get all the information, and you can hit either one of our inboxes, and we'll get all the information from you, and you'll get your gift. So congratulations, Miss Nina Hatcher. We can go on to the first topic. I know a lot of people may have seen this over the weekend about Mr. Donald Trump. They have I have a picture to go with this. I'll read it briefly right here. It said, let me take this banner down. Colorado Supreme Court removed Trump from the 2024 ballot. In a stunning decision, the Colorado Supreme Court on Tuesday removed former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 ballot, ruling that he isn't an eligible presidential candidate because of the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. So we want to ask briefly to our Lineage Podcast listeners and viewers, is that fair? And I'll let my brother kind of tell me his opinion first about this. You know, this is up his alley more than mine. So I'll submit to you on this
one. What I would say is I don't think it's going to hold up because he's not a felon. You know, a lot of times, sometimes we don't feel things go our way, but in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. This is why most cases that Donald Trump is in now, they're trying to rush it, so he can't. They want to get a conviction before, or for him to plea before the election. MJ. Mm-hmm. The thing is that even though I don't care how you feel about what Donald Trump did, I feel like Donald Trump was wrong about the insurrection that happened in the at the Capitol. I think he manipulated and with his silence and his tone of voice, he gave direction. That's my personal opinion, MJ. But what I will say, if we're gonna go by the Constitution of the United States of America. This man has only been indicted and he has not been convicted. So with that being said, he still has a right to be on the ballot, MJ.
Yeah.
And see, I could be honest. I voted Democrat most of my life. I voted a couple of times for a few Republicans who I thought were good, but I voted Democrat most of my life. And see, what I just done is what Democrats and Republicans have problems with doing. They have problems with saying what is right, MJ. And this is what the issue is with our country. We tend to just only say things that's in line with our party and not being right. I can say that I think Donald Trump was wrong on one hand, but also say that he has the right to have his day in court and be proven wrong by a jury or a judge. And
Correct.
until then, he has the right to pursue his political career, MJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah.
what is right, bro. That's just
Yeah.
what is right.
Yeah. I'm in full agreement with that also, man. Like Jeff just said, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's, you know, whether you like him or not, whether you agree with his policies, whether you agree with how he handled, you know, everything. If you think he manipulated the system and cohorts for the people to go and put their feet on the desk and all that in the nation's capital, then I understand that. Whether you agree or disagree with him, that understand that. But at the same time, if we want the law to be upheld when it should benefit us and when we're on one side, we also got to say, okay, let's keep it 1,000, man. We got to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. Whether you think he's done it, or not, he hasn't been convicted. So he got to get his just due, just like we want everybody else to get that.
And to be honest, and you know, I agree with the government going against Donald Trump and holding him up in court. But I think we have big issues on our hands with our foreign policy right now.
Yeah.
With Ukraine, with Israel, with China. We have a lot of things on our hand that our government need to get off the Donald Trump problem and get on the foreign policy problem. Donald Trump, the Donald Trump thing will work itself out as he go through court. But too many of our Democrats and our Republicans are worried about what Donald Trump and what Joe Biden's son name, Jim,
Hunter.
what's his name? Hunter Biden doing and did, that we don't see what Russia and China and North Korea and what's going on in Ukraine. We're not concentrated on that like we should be, because we so concentrate on the reality TV of the political world right now, bro. And it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop playing politics, and they need to do some work. And the American people, what they're seeing right now, it should be a lot of people voted out of the House and voted out of the Senate in the next election, because these people are keeping a circus. And it's going to get worse in 24. If you think it's a circus now, bro, think about it. The same House Republicans who would not impeach Donald Trump on January the 6th did not want to impeach him. They want to impeach Joe Biden on what his son was doing with some funds. Do you see? Don't get me wrong. They got to prove that Joe Biden had something to do or knew or benefited from it. They got to prove that. But at the same time, look at the circus, bro. But you didn't want to say nothing bad about Donald Trump because he was a Republican. You're a Republican. But now Joe Biden is all bad. Same goes with the Democrats. You want to talk all this junk about Donald Trump, but don't want to say that the Joe Biden situation looks fishy. And see, this is why the American people does not have confidence in the government right now, because no one will stand on truth and what is right. They stand on policy, on the Democrat Republican side, on their policy side. Right. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
because you're right. Because in some instances, you know, it's if we going down with the ship type of mentality, man. You know, we going down with our party, come hell or high water. You know how they say in the country, hell or high water. But you know, you're 100% right. Sometimes we got to put that aside, man, to stand on business. Like, you know, that just is what it is.
We do,
but
bro.
a lot of the
American, so the American people can trust the government once again, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a shame what's going on, bro. It's a shame.
Yeah. Ms. Nina Hatcher said, I agree as well. Yeah, but he hasn't been convicted. He deserves a fair chance as well. And she says we have issues right here in the city of Selma. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know they got issues out there in Selma.
We already know. You know,
I tell the people all day, the citizens of Selma, to fix the Selma issue is that Selma citizens need to make the mayor and the city council implement term limits.
Yeah.
Selma needs term limits. I don't care if anybody, Perkins, I don't care what mayor disagree with me. Selma needs term limits, bro. It's simple as that, because you got people sitting in the city council roles for 30 years, 14 years, 20 years, and doing nothing. You got mayors who can sit there all this time and don't do nothing, and they come back and they're not emeritus. You have to make people become emeritus. How do you make people become emeritus? And they become ambassadors for their community and put term limits in, because if they know they got this amount of time, they're going to do their work, then they become ambassadors because they can't run again. And if they love their city, what happens? They get put in a place to say, look, regardless who sits in the seat, I want to make sure they are successful. Now, that's how I feel about the government in Selma, Alabama. Term limits. Limits.
No, that's fact. You're 100% right. That term limit hold them accountable.
Accountable, man.
It hold them accountable. Yeah, Ms. Nina agrees. Yes. Preach. 100%. Yeah. Let's talk about our next subject. What I'll do is I'll kind of give a recap. Matter of fact, I'll show one of the little videos from last week. Let me get this banner down. If you was tuning in last week, we talked about it was an incident on about a mother. She was twerking in the in a, I want to say it was a prom, a bad kid prom, or whatever the title was, whatever the theme was, it was a prom. She was twerking and her child was there, and he felt some type of way. He went in survival mode. Let's show one of the little videos from that. Well, I don't have the video. I just have the video. Well, I'll say this. There was a video of him crying after the incident. The incident was this guy he was recording himself, and he went up to the young fella's mother and was dancing. The young fella saw his mother dancing with the guy, and he went and got in between them, and he looked at mama and looked at guy like they was crazy. And then after that incident was over, his emotions got the best of him. He started crying. And so we were talking about parenting and the different nuances and everything, and giving our opinion on certain things about parenting and what we felt about that particular incident. And my brother said a statement, and he got a few people, for lack of better words.
Yeah, got some pushback on it.
He got some pushback on it. So I'll let him kind of go into it.
Well, I appreciate you letting me make a statement on this. You know, when I speak, I don't speak to hurt feelings. I speak what is my opinion, what I feel like is true. And I said that young lady did not deserve to be a mother, and I most definitely felt like that lady did not deserve him as a child. And I got some pushback from a couple of mothers on my choice of words. One of my points is this before I lead into that. A couple of weeks ago, we showed some men who I said that did not deserve to be fathers because they would put guns in their kids' hand, and it was inappropriate, and it wasn't like they was teaching them safety. They was teaching them how to be hood, and they was teaching them in a way
guns and money,
and it's in the type of money they was having the birthday party, and they was teaching them how to be what I call Thundercats. And I saw another man teaching his son, He was behind his son. His son was rapping like in the studio, and every other word was a cuss word and degrading women. And I said that he did not deserve to be a father. I did not get one person in my inbox on my comments and say that I was wrong for that statement when I was talking about a father. We tend to use the statements all the time that a man is only a sperm donor. So when I said this about a mother, I had a couple of mothers come back and they was in their emotions and they were saying you can't say that that she don't deserve to be a mother. Well, I beg the difference because I feel like a mother can be just like a man can donate his sperm, a mother can donate her eggs. That's how I feel. Mother, I want to know why is a lady can automatically be a mother when she bears a child, but a woman who does not bear a child, they can be mothers because of their relationship. I believe a mother is a relationship. I don't believe a woman who has a child is a mother because if it was that, it's a lot of bad mothers and fathers because the foster care system shows us that. I saw an article that said that it would be more kids aged out of foster care then I think it was gonna graduate from high school or being born. Think about that. It's a lot of people out there who's having kids that don't deserve to be a parent. And I think that lady's actions, not her actions, as far as dancing on the young man, not making a mistake, her actions of not consoling that child and saying I'm sorry to that child right then and right there and understanding what was going on with him and how that was going to be detrimental to him, her actions on that, she did not deserve a child. Then I saw a video of her recording the baby, that same child saying that everybody dragging me, I just want them to show you that we good. She never took responsibility or accountability of her actions. And it's a lot of mothers and fathers today that do not hold themselves accountable for their actions on how they're raising their kids, and they're raising their kids to destruction. MJ.
Mm-hmm.
So my words was not to be harsh or to talk about all mothers. I was just talking about that instant because guess what? It's some good mothers out there. It's some great mothers out there. And what we have to do as people, when people say things, we can't put ourselves in their shoes because we would do things differently. I don't know a woman in my life. Well, I know a couple of them who don't supposed to be mothers, but I can't say their name. But I know most of the women that's in our life, in my life, would not, who are mothers, would not have acted like that. Relationships, accountability, that is a mother, not a person who trying to turn up, and the turn up is more important than their child. If your turn up is more important than your child, you don't supposed to be a mother. You should not be a mother. If your turn up is more important than your child, you should not be a father. And I'm not picking on women. I'm doing both parenting, men and women. There's a lot of men out there who shouldn't be fathers, who are sperm donors, and there's a lot of women who are egg donors, MJ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just real talk, bro. That's real talk.
Yeah, sometimes when you make bold statements like that, when it's direct, sometimes you're gonna get pushed back. But sometimes it's needed because it brings up the conversation, it allows us to think as a whole. So I'll read the comments. Miss Janae White said sad, and the people thought it was funny. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Janae, 100%. Nina Hatcher said disgraceful morals and standards seem to be non-existent nowadays. And the station said she said something about the statement about when you said about the male. She said something. I guess when we did the father ones where the boys had the guns and the money, she said something about it. I agree with you. Facts are fact. Truth is truth. People get offended when truth is spoken. Anastasia said, in my field, we measure an individual's parental capacity. We then help to teach the parents to learn the correct way to parent their child. From there, we decide if they should remain a parent. Janae said, I agree. And Miss Nina said, there's a difference between a mother and a good mother. The same thing goes for a father, accountability and responsibility. I agree. And, with me, it's tough. Because I agree with everything you said. But sometimes it's hard to hear. And I would say this, I briefly spoke, like, why do we, for instance, let me play a little bit of devil's advocate. Imagine if we would have played a video, that same video, and you said that woman does not deserve to be a wife. Do you think you would have got as much pushback?
Mm-mm.
See, so I'm saying that to say this. Why is it? I want to put it on the floor. This is my belief now. I'm open to the possibility of being wrong. I think a wife should be the ultimate goal before a mother. That is my personal opinion. My personal opinion. Women feel free to push back. I have no ill will towards that. I think it takes more self-awareness, and it takes a little bit different. It takes a little bit of different gas to try to shoot for a wife than a mother. Because let's keep it 1,000. To be a mother, we know what it takes. You know, it takes an act, 3-letter words. We know that, right? But to be a wife, now I know there's some wives out there that be tripping, and that we don't feel that deserves to wear the ring and honor. But why is it that because you said she don't deserve to be a mother, it's so much pushback? And I want the ladies to chime in, because maybe I'm missing something. You get so much pushback by saying she don't deserve to be a mother, but if you said she don't deserve to be a wife, you probably wouldn't get that much pushback. So what I'm asking is, why in our community is it like that? Why do we feel the need to be in so much of a defense of, to me, what one title, I'm not going to say is greater than the other, but it takes a little bit more work, because majority of wives are mothers. So you have 2 titles. So I just want to know why, if wife was on the table, she don't deserve to be a wife, then she wouldn't have got that much pushback. Because I feel like her doing that with her child there, it says that it shows more of, with your child there, you really don't deserve to be a mother. In that, if I'm going by your actions, those are not mother-like actions, and those are not wife-like actions. If you was a wife, now if that was your husband you was dancing on, that's one thing. Think about it, bro. If that was his dad that she was dancing on, and her son saw that, would he have had the same reaction?
No,
No, he wouldn't.
no, no.
Because that is appropriate for a wife to be doing it for her husband.
That's right.
Even in a setting that, because our mom and dad, they used to kiss and hug and all that, and some, as kids you'd be like, here they go. But at the same time, let's keep it 1,000. Those are the things we looked up to, and majority of us, we repeat those same actions when we get married.
That's right.
We really do.
That's right.
But as a mother, it's a different story. So I just want to kind of throw that in there as a little bit of devil advocate. Why would you get so much pushback in saying that about her not being
Because
a mother?
most women are nurturers, and when they see women do things, they already have grace and mercy. And they think they think because you had a child that you're a grandfather and being a good mother just by having it. And that's just not so, MJ. Just like a man, just because I had sex with a woman and she got pregnant and she had the baby, does not make me a good father. My actions, I'm holding myself accountable. The way I help raise this child defines what type of father I am, MJ. How you raise this child and what you do and how you hold yourself accountable in public, in private, whatever, determines what type of mother you are. You are not grandfather into this because you're able to produce the natural, what you want to say, God, Mother Earth, whatever religion you want to believe in has given you the ability to do. That does not give you the right to say you are automatically a good mother, and an automatically good father. It's about what you do daily for your child, and how
Right.
you carry yourself determines what kind of mother and father you are. And we have to
100%.
change that. We have to change, start letting people, for Mother's Day, every mother gets a card. No. And just because you have the child doesn't mean, or the child stays with you, doesn't mean that you are a good mother. Because how you raise the baby, MJ,
Yeah,
that's the part. Because guess what? In
100%.
our community, mothers and fathers a lot of times are doing a terrible job because look at these teachers, what these teachers are saying about these kids. Look at that, if that response when that teacher called the house, and that the mother, who we say is a mother, her response to the teacher when the teacher was explaining how that child was acting up, she gonna tell the teacher, well, you can't control her.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of holding herself accountable and say, hold on, I'll be up there. See, if one of AJ teachers called me, they already know who Alan Reese is. I'm coming
Right.
up there with a belt to the school. They called me, teacher called me the other week by AJ, put him on speakerphone. I said, boy, your behind gonna be mine. Tighten up. That's not, you've been raised better than that. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Yeah.
some people don't care. Forget that teacher. Man, that's your problem. Why my child at school? That's your problem. See, that's not, if I would have said that, MJ, I'm not a good father. I don't
Mm-hmm.
deserve to be a father because I am affecting the world. Because how I'm raising my son just don't affect me. He could be the one going there robbing the stores. He could be the one to go kill your child who you've been raising in the right manner. He could be the little thundercat who just don't give a damn, excuse my
Mm-hmm.
language, who don't give a damn that affects your family, what you've been doing right.
Right.
That's the truth. That's
That's
the honest
fact.
God truth. And we got to
Yeah.
stop aligning black people, just like I said, we got to stop aligning ourselves with these Democrats all the time. We got to stop aligning ourselves with people who are not good mothers and fathers because we think it don't affect us till some tragic happens and come knock at our door. And
Mm-hmm.
then we'll say they weren't raising that baby right. They always did that. They always said that. Man, call that stuff out now.
Yeah. But when you call it out, then they
Then
defend
you
them.
wrong.
Right. But
Forget
let
all
me
them
read these.
chances.
Yeah. Let me read these comments. Then we're gonna go to another video because we'll show how it affects not only the younger kids, but even as older than your 50. So I'll read what Anastasia and a couple other people said. These are individuals who become parents before they fully understood what it meant to be a parent. Sometimes these parents are learning because they were taught incorrectly. We don't know everybody. Let me say something right there a little bit
Hold on.
before
Oh, okay.
my
I
mom and
like something.
my mother and father. I think my dad has just turned 19 when I was born. My mother had me. She had just turned 19 6 months while I was born. You're right. We don't know everybody, right? But let's keep it 1,000. You can be a young parent. You can be a parent that was raised in somewhat of a dysfunction. You can be a parent that was raised in a single parent household. I know a lot of individuals that was raised in a lot of different type of dynamics, right? But they turned out to be great parents. So I think what it is it don't, to me, it really don't matter how much you're raised. It matters how much you accept responsibility and accountability along the way.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with a lot of the people that's prematurely becoming parents, because let's keep it 1,000. You're never ready to be a parent. Let's you're never ready, right?
That's right.
But but
Just like you're
but
never out of it ready to be married. But I got something to say when you finish, OJ.
right.
Yeah.
But you're never ready. But at the same time, I think what can help your parenting is the one of the main factors is accepting accountability and try to improve as you raise your children, because you go through different phases of parenthood as your child is going through different phases of childhood at the same time. Y'all supposed to be growing together. The problem is a lot of these kids, they are going through their natural phases, but these parents aren't going through their natural evolvement. And so then it causes that the child to be raised in dysfunction and bad moral things. So that's my
MJ.
opinion. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've lost our culture. I'm gonna bring back the culture because I
Mhm.
want I want to go back to that comment. My mama could have used that excuse for not being a good wife. My mom, dad got killed when she was 12. My grandmama did not marry again. Okay,
Yep.
but my mother is the example of a wife.
Mhm.
She is cooperative and submissive to my father. She could have said, because I didn't, for the bulk of my teen years and going to get married to Marvin Reed, she could have said, because my father wasn't there and my mom didn't remarry good, I did not see my mom marry and I don't know how to be a wife. No, it goes back to culture. It goes back to holding people accountable. Because guess what? when mom and dad had their problems and mama wanted to leave and stuff, guess what? Me and dad would say, you take your butt back over there to your husband and work it out. Accountability, our friends, is you wrong. Marvin and friend, y'all gonna work it out. See, that generation understood that we gonna hold you accountable to what you said you wanted. That's all it is, MJ. When you was wrong, they told you was wrong, and you had to accept it. And you had to sit there and say, yes, man, no, man, yes, man, no, man. Today, if the elder tell you wrong, who she talking to?
Right.
It's my child. I raise my kids like I want to. Do you think Mama would have told Minnie Dowell that, or Aline, she would have told Aline that when they were correcting her on parenting, she would have sit there and listened and said, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's about respect, MJ, and we've lost our culture. That's what it's about.
That's the percentage of it, yeah.
End of the day, bro. And that's just what it is. My mama could have used, and there's so many women who lost their father, who didn't see mom and dad of the day in that day, but they are good parents or good wives because they were held accountable by the elders. They listen to their elders, MJ. They listen to wise counsel, bro. It's simple as that. Our generation don't want to listen to wise counsel. Yeah, and it's simple as that.
You're 100% right. And I got to give, and I know she's not on here, and I don't want to tell her story, but I got to give our sister Amanda some credit too now.
That's right.
Amanda had a tough life.
One of the hardest I know.
One of the hardest that I know. Her husband on here, Jeff. Her husband on here, Jeff. And even though we didn't gave Amanda slack, we debate with her all the time.
Boy.
We went back and forth. Tristan on here, we did win. But I must say, if you look at Amanda now, right, you will never know
her story. I wish you'd tell it.
Unless she told you.
Unless you told about parents, about her MJ. Boy, that's all I have to say.
And I'm gonna leave it there. If one day, if one day I would love for Amanda to kind of come and tell her story.
That's right.
And how she was raised and her childhood. I would love for that to happen. But like I said, I
great mother.
Come on, and I won't deep dive. I won't deep dive into it. And see, so that's why. And honestly, she one of the reasons why I say I don't have sympathy for some women that's doing what that lady did on that video. I can't rock with that because I know women that done went through it. And I'm talking about not just through the mud, I'm talking about mud field.
Yeah, boy.
And came out with morals, know how to handle themselves, all of that, man. So once again, I'll let Amanda do that, but we'll read a couple more comments and yeah. And Anastasia, I agree with some of this, but accountability. You have to take one's life experiences, upbringing, etc., into consideration. We have to meet people where they are. The most definitely should be approached about their actions at the same time, offer the opportunity to learn and grow as well. But I think, Anastasia, my thing is, I think this is part of it, is holding you accountable. When you say meet people where they are, a lot of the times we feel like we have to, a lot of the times we say meet people where they are, we feel like we have to go, if they in the hood, we got to go in the hood and conform to them. No. We're supposed to show that we are able to go in there and still hold them accountable in the same with no judgment. Now I keep on going. I would agree the same with both. So as a lady myself, I would still agree what's good for the gender. Same would go for the goose. Still in public setting, respect is required regardless. So did people say you was wrong for calling them out or wrong for your choice of words?
They said I was wrong for saying she deserved a mother. She deserved to be a mother. It don't matter how I would have said. I would have said she shouldn't have had a child right now. It didn't matter how I said it. It's the point that I said mother and child, and I said she didn't deserve that young man or whatnot. And so they didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Which I welcome it, because I'm not always right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I'm not always right.
And the stage said it matters how one was raised. It matters when intervention takes place. It all matters again. Did they say it was wrong to hold them accountable or wrong choice of words? Two different things. I'm not speaking on your personal experience. I'm speaking on what studies show and what I've learned experience in the classroom and field. Our generation listens. The ones after us haven't been listening. what y'all are doing is called generalizing. That's never cool. I'll keep going. You can do that and should hold accountable. That's you giving them the chance without removing their motherhood. You did not answer the question. Okay, repeat the question, Anastasia, because I'm sorry, the comments we got to talking. I'll go to the generalizing, but I'll keep it 1,000, Anastasia. That's a lot of the time that's what's wrong in our community. We see a lot of the times we'll see the vast majority of something going on, but then we'll try to point to the minority and say, well, you don't know the situation, you don't know this. If we have enough evidence to say in the vast majority of the time when certain people are doing this, these are the results, we have to start taking that serious, because a lot of the times, and I know in your fields, I know you can go deeper. It depends on how they was raised, this and the third. And that's what we are saying. Because now in our culture, most of the time we see how many of our kids are raised with single parent households, over 70-some%. The jail population are over 80-some% of Black males. So we see how they are being raised. We see what's going on. So we have to address it as such.
But MJ, we go further, go back further though, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go back. Have they told us the way that we were raised was wrong? It was child abuse for whooping a child. See, but it was structured. Why is it that the way our parents then raised us created better humans? But then we get today with all this education, and they said that was child abuse. This is the way you should raise them. But we're worse.
We're
worse off now.
Right.
We're worse off now.
I'm sorry, this is the question. Did people say you was? Yeah, he answered it. He said for his choice of words, right?
Yeah, I think it was both.
A little bit of both.
Choice of words, and because I said that she should have not been a mother. I feel like it didn't matter how I said it, but if I said in that same sentence she shouldn't have been a mother, that was offensive. What I'm saying is that my belief is that she shouldn't, because of her actions. Not just MJ. You know what? I said that not because just her actions. It's because what she did after her actions when she realized that she messed up.
Right.
Because we all make mistakes. Ain't nobody look. You'll never be a perfect parent. It's the point when you see your mistakes, you don't hold yourself accountable, and then you try to cover it up.
And that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting to. I think a lot of people may be alluding to, because we think her twerking is the problem. Because you can go how we was raised, and how it is. Some parts of it you can twerk and all this and third. That's not the issue. The issue is what she didn't do afterwards. She didn't console her son. So I'll ask.
That was toxic.
I'll ask Angel.
And I feel like I'm sorry.
I'll ask Angel. What concretely does her having to how she was raised and everything having to do with her consoling her child as a mother?
The mother,
right? Because a mother raised in dysfunction, a mother raised in a two-parent household, a mother raised among the rich, a mother raised around the privileged. In that situation, not the twerking. Some mothers will twerk, twerking out the door. But all mothers, no matter your backgrounds or how you was raised, should have handled the consoling part in a different manner. And I think that's more what we're.
That's my issue, because
she was more worried about herself and proving to the social media world that me and my son good. We on good terms, because she had went viral and she didn't like the flack she was getting. She was concerned about that.
First, MJ, she wasn't worried about it. First, her action was to laugh, lick her tongue out, and start back dancing. That's not a mother actions. We talking about mothers. That's not what mothers do. Then, because she got flapped for that, she got on social media. She didn't get on there and say, "Look, y'all, my actions was wrong." You know what I'm saying? I did not console my son. My behavior as a mother was wrong, and I see my mistake. Then say that. She put the phone on her son and said, I just want the world to know we good. They dragging me, tell them we good. Then he had to explain, me and my mama went to the car, had a conversation. She never said anything about what she
was
did.
wrong. Right.
So what I'm saying, where is the motherly action, or is it toxic?
Right.
You can't put mother and toxic in the same sentence.
Yeah. Facts. Anastasia said you can hold an individual accountable and address them without removing them from parenthood. You have a right to your beliefs. I'm saying, coming from a deep and professional perspective, that's not always been. I don't see. Sometimes we got. I ain't gonna say that. They should be held accountable for sure. People need to stop using their upbringing and parent marital status as a crutch or excuse to some kind of. This is Ms. Nina, to some kind of falsified justification of why they do things. That's what I was about to get to, Ms. Nina. Because let me ask you this, and I love this, Angel. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate Nina, Angel, everybody that's chiming in. Let me ask you this, Angel, just hypothetically. If there was a man out there having sex with every woman that he saw, and let's say he had an STD and he was spreading that thing, in your opinion, yes or no, does he deserve to be a husband at that particular moment? Does he deserve to be a husband? What, I don't care about his background. He saw his father out there knocking down every woman he came across. His father was on the deacon board. He was messing with all the deaconesses. His father was out there messing with his co-workers, all the women at his job. Let's say that was his background. And then he saw that, and then he perpetuated the same thing. So when he got older, he started doing the same thing. He started knocking down every woman he see. He couldn't keep it in his pants. He had a couple of STDs and got burnt. You tell me yes or no, Ms. Nina, I appreciate your answer. You tell me yes or no. Does he deserve to be a husband? Point blank. And I want your answer after we show this video right here.
This, and before you show the, this is why I admire our sister Amanda so much. She did not allow her upbringing. She did not allow what she went through to determine her actions as a mother. She held herself accountable and said, it is on me.
Correct.
It is on me, not my upbringing, not all this dysfunction, none of that. It is on me how I raise my kids. Because how I raise my kids and how I hold myself accountable is how my kids are going to be when they grow older.
That's fact.
Simple as that. Simple as that, bro.
100%. And let's keep it. A lot of the stuff I didn't know until Amanda told me. I'm like, good God.
That's right.
I don't know if I could have went through that.
That's right, man.
I'm keeping 1,000, man.
So
tough, but man, let's show this video. And I'm sure a lot of people saw this over the last week or so, or 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, but we'll watch this.
Yeah, he's your father. Right there. What? What? Yeah, 99. What? What? This man is my father? This man is my father? My mama lied to me again? Yes, he's your father.
If you don't know what's going on there,
you can hear the pain in Kurt.
Yeah,
and Kurt. That.
Kurt. I didn't know this until recently, man. That's why I kind of spoke on our sister Amanda. You wouldn't know what people upbringing is and a lot of that they're going through. I didn't know this, but Kirk's mother, Kurt Franklin thought a guy was his father throughout pretty much his whole adult life. He thought this one guy
adopted.
He was
adopted. You know that, right?
Yeah. Adopted. And his mother he thought that one guy was his father. This guy died of cancer. And it was a guy that came to the funeral that stood up and said that he had been dealing with Kirk Franklin's mother. Mind you, before that, Kirk Franklin hadn't heard from his mother in 23 years. The guy said he was that he had been dealing with Kirk Franklin's mother. Then everyone at the funeral, because Kirk didn't go to the funeral because he didn't want to go because him and his mother was going through some turmoil. So the people at the funeral started looking at the guy, his height, his hands and his ears and everything. You know how it is. And so rumors started going around. So what the dude did, he swabbed his mouth. I saw this on the Shannon show. Swabbed his mouth and he gave it to one of Kirk Franklin family members. He said, well, just in case Kirk won't answer some questions, here it is. Kirk went and got the DNA test and found out that the guy that stood up at the funeral was his father. So he has went to his mother, even though he has 2 DNA tests, the one there that he was talking about, and then another one, and his mother still denies it. So that's tough, to see Kirk go through that.
Toxic.
And
MJ toxic mothers.
Yeah.
Mother
Yeah.
toxic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We saw a kid that was a teenager all the way up to Kirk Franklin, who's I think he's 53, 54 now. Go ahead. Yeah.
But once again, he said his mother lied to him again. So
yes,
the opportunity for accountability.
Right.
Still didn't hold herself accountable and tell the young boy the truth. Well, what I'm saying, and this is
right.
what we don't realize why we have so much brokenness, MJ.
Right.
And I'm just not on mothers.
Right.
I'm not on women.
Right.
It just so happened this is a lady we're talking about because I get on fathers too.
Correct.
But you wonder why that we don't have any brokenness, but it's not just that they are not held accountable. We as their friends, their sisters, their brothers, their aunties, and uncles are silent by their actions. Silent. We don't tell them that they're wrong. Right. We won't tell them, nah, that's wrong how you doing that. No, you need to go do something about that child at that school. No, you might not, because of your actions or how you done had these last 2 kids, you ain't doing nothing. You don't need no more babies. We won't tell them.
You won't tell them.
We won't. We'll sit there and just chill out.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Everyone does not have that in their past to move past their upbringing and surrounding. If it doesn't matter, then why do we take this into account when engaging the jail population? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. You are speaking one side. Think about what you do in the dark versus in public. One could say the same about any of us. Some of us are just better at hiding it, but nobody is ready for that. Nobody's ready for that conversation. I'm ready for the conversation. I'm asking you. See what I'm saying. A lot of the times, what we'll do is, hold on. I did say be silent. I said offer guidance and patience. I guess she said she didn't say be silent. I said offer guidance and patience. That's all. But hear what I'm saying. Guidance, Anastasia. Within guidance, if you go to any counselor, I've been to marriage counseling. One thing you have to do before you really get started into session 1, session 2, session 3, you have to admit you have a problem and you need to change and accept accountability. So in that guidance, and I know you know this, a person has to realize they have a problem. So all Alan was doing was showing the problem. The problem is we like to pacify it. She said, right, so that's the next step. So that's why I'm asking you. That's why I want you to answer my question. So a guy, does he deserve to be a husband if he was doing all of these things? Are we so worried about not holding him accountable and using our choice of words? We're so worried about that instead of all the women he may affect, all the STDs he may pass, all the children he may have passed on. We so worried about, just like the Charleston White thing, what we said the other week. We be so worried about how things are said. As in our community, we be so worried about that mess, that disrespect. Oh, you shouldn't have said it like that. We will argue and debate about how it was said and never address what was said. How many people will accept accountability via public scrutiny? I know, y'all know, I know better. I know better. Public scrutiny. No. What I'm what I'm asking you, Angel, I gave a scenario. Yes or no? Just like Ms. Nina answered it. Does that man deserve to? Would you say he deserves to be a husband if he out there knocking down 50 plus women in the same year and he out there spreading STDs? And if someone asks you, do you think he deserves to be a husband? What would your answer be? I'm not concerned.
At that moment,
I'm saying offer the chance.
Angel, at that moment, he don't deserve to be a husband, but he can go through the proper steps, the proper counseling to get his mind right to say to be a husband.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying at that moment, if that's how she is as a mother daily, that young boy is in a toxic parenting situation. And it's not good, MJ. That's all I'm saying.
He may not be ready to be a husband in that moment. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. I disagree. Because what will we judge? I'm saying offer the opportunity to get the right mindset. But that's what Alan is doing. See, this is why sometimes I don't get it, because we try to get too deep, bro. We try to get too deep. It's black and white with most things, dog. It's black and white, man.
We try to like Boosie when you said that.
Yeah, it's black and white, dog. It really is, man. It's black and white. It's black and white. Why do we try to? Sometimes I don't need to know how you was raised, because guess what's at stake? You got kids looking up to you. I ain't got time to listen. I don't have time to be showing you. I ain't got time to be babysitting you. You done had kids. Now it's kind of like a father. Listen, if my dad told me, MJ, you need to get a job. If I ain't have no kids, don't you think you need to get a job, MJ? This dude hiring this hiring, right? He can kind of say it like that, right?
Yeah.
Once I have kids and a wife,
that's right.
Ain't no more sugar coat.
Ain't no. You need to get go get a
be a man. Go get a job.
You got these kids out here. You got your wife. You got people depending on you. I didn't raise you in that manner. You saw me get up every week, every day, and go drive them trucks and provide for you and your mother and y'all. And you're not being a good representation on how I raised you. That's exactly what Martin Reese said to us.
What said?
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. We missing that, MJ. It's just like that girl. Remember, Daddy had her camera right then. Your video we shared on Instagram, a lady at a wedding was finna start twerking. Daddy turned around. What she did? She stopped right then. Accountability. We need men and women like that, who's gonna be honest with the generation to say you're wrong. No, you don't know. Listen, so I can tell you. Are you gonna be perfect? No. But at the same time, how you raise these kids, it's hard for kids to forget, MJ. Kids are they do a great job in covering up hurt because they want to be happy. So we have to be careful. We can't make too many mistakes, MJ, when it comes to raising. Because it's detrimental to those kids, especially when they're younger. They're sponges. You get what I'm saying, bro? And a lot of times in our community, just as we cover up the molestations in our community and all this that goes on, that's bad parenting too. Y'all know them kids we get molested by somebody in the family, and you don't say nothing because you don't want Uncle Jim John to go to jail. Y'all to let that baby get molested for 12, 13 years and don't say nothing. What kind of parents are you? That's the truth. Why should we? You ain't got time to try to work it out. Some of this stuff is all about what type of morals you have in your heart, bro. Who are you as a person? We do that all the time in our community. Color Purple finna come out. We have seen that before. Kids get molested. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Now that child is destroyed, MJ. Because someone in the family was molested, her or him. All type of spirits or whatnot that entered into that child. And we don't say anything because we don't want somebody to go to jail. What kind of parents are those, bro? They shouldn't be parents.
Yeah. Angel
Because
said
you have allowed that child to be destroyed.
Yeah. She said you have the right to disagree. I know people who portray in public the right decisions and do dirt left and right. Do they deserve to be husband and wife? If they can't accept accountability, no, they don't. If they ain't tighten up, no, they don't. If you are already a husband and wife and you go through the proper channels, you go through counseling and you accept accountability and you say, I want to evolve and change. Yes, you have changed. Yes, you have every right. But as we displayed in this video, that mother not only had one or two, she had about 3 chances to show her motherly instincts right, and she didn't do it. She laughed at her son when clearly he came in and he knew something was wrong. He separated her and the boy. She laughed. Then she sat in the chair and started dancing again once her son was crying. Then she got on video on the aftermath, and she was more concerned about the slack she was taking virally than the main concern about how her son felt. So in that instance, when some people show me all of that, no. Now, are we perfect? No. Are we gonna slip? Yes. We are human. But you can't just pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on. It's kind of like
I think the difference is the difference between a person. Everyone slips. But when a person gets up and hold himself accountable and say, I was wrong, I see my mistake.
Correct.
But if you that shows that you are a person who is a good parent because you understood you slipped. But then you say when things are said and done, someone brings it to your attention, you say, yeah, I was wrong, and I look at it. But then if you want to sit there and cover it up,
right,
and blame it on something else and not take accountability, what is that? I don't get it. What is that?
She said if he learned the nuts and bolts of being a husband, then there might be a possibility he couldn't be a good role model, leader for anyone, especially not talking about leading a family. Angel said exactly, and he could have portrayed being a great father in public. Case in point. That's what I'm saying. So people doing things in the dark deserve to be mad. Her sins are on display. That's the difference. No, the accountability is the difference, Angel. That's what you keep missing. It's the accountability. So I don't care if it's public or in the dark. I don't care if it's public or in the dark. I did not say slip. I said walk around doing right in the public eye, but mess up in the dark. No, it ain't. To me, my stance is it has nothing to do whether it's publicly or in the dark. My stance is a person deserves it when they can get up and accept account. That's in any facet of life.
I was wrong.
Any fact, you on your 10th job and you 22. That shows me. And every time you go to a new job, you blame the last job. What that show me? That you really not accept accountability. You're not a good employee.
Yeah. Everybody gonna make mistakes. Everybody make growing pains and everything.
Right.
But the point is you don't want to have account.
We focus on too much of giving people excuses for their dysfunction and their resilience to not accept accountability. So it gives them an excuse to still behave in dysfunctional ways. Instead of us saying, listen, my dog, you don't deserve that job. You don't deserve that wife. You out here sleeping with. That's a good woman. You don't deserve her. You don't deserve to be no husband. You don't need to marry her. You don't need to marry her. Or you don't deserve no kid. Listen, if I couldn't clean my room, I couldn't cut the grass. I didn't know how. If I'm running out of gas, my mom and dad had to come and get me all the time because I'm running out of gas. If my daddy told me, MJ, you don't deserve to be no father right now, dog. Guess what I'm gonna say? 100. I accept accountability. You right,
MJ. You know, I know some people say I know some people say I shouldn't, use religion, but my background sometimes I have to go there. And a lot of our listeners believe how we believe. Why did the word say that David was a man after God's own heart?
Own heart. Yeah.
David was hideous, savage. But what made David different than everyone else, he took accountability for his action. He said, me, and it was only me, Lord. That's why God loved David so much. It's because David didn't blame nobody else for his actions. That's why he was so special in God's eye. David was God loved David so much, even through his imperfectness. But because the reason he loved him so much is because David took accountability for self, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're missing, because guess what? When you're wrong and you take accountability for being wrong, it's not that you're wrong. It's when you take accountability for being wrong. It's your character.
Yeah.
Your character as a person.
Facts.
That's
Facts.
why he loved David so much, because of his character. Even through his imperfectness, he knew that David was going to take accountability and not blame no one else and say, God is me and only me.
And guess what they say? And she right, David admitted his faults and remained humble. Remember, they always say the best behavior is change behavior. You cannot change your behavior without first accepting accountability, bro. It doesn't happen. Angel said we saying two different things. I said hold accountable, not write them off. What's wrong with that? I'm not even saying write them off. What I'm saying is,
that's right.
I'm not saying in the future she couldn't be she can't be a mother, or in the future he can't be a husband. But I'm judging him right then and there. I'm judging him right then and there. If you was to ask him, do you deserve to be a husband out here sleeping with all these women and passing these STDs? No. Does that mean he can't change? That doesn't mean that. But before he changed, what he got to do? He got to accept accountability.
MJ, I would have never said that if she would have took accountability for her actions,
Right.
Because I would have said that woman right there is going to be a great mother, because she's going to grow, because she's holding herself accountable.
Right.
She could have done everything she did, MJ.
Right.
Everything she did. You don't have
Right.
to change none she did. None of her actions, twerking, and none of that. But if she would have said that I was wrong and I did not display good parent behavior, and I'm going to change my course of action in the future, that is a good mother.
That's a good mother. She could have twerked, Alan. She could have twerked like she did. She could have danced in her seat again. But on that third video, she would have came and said, you know what? I was wrong. I didn't.
I look back at that. Yeah, I saw my baby crying. It just hurt me. I got to change.
Alan,
I need to change that.
And guess what?
I would have been on her side.
Our whole topic of the show would have been different. What is a good
mother?
We would have showed
her. Mother. Would have showed her. This how you hold yourself accountable. You gotta just learn from her. Come on, it's men the same way. Men who want to do stupid stuff, and when they say, you know what, I was wrong, that's a man who gonna grow and be a good man, because guess what? He gonna hold himself accountable. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I know we gotta go, and I know Anastasia said I wasn't even bringing up judgment, but she said you judging him right then and there. Who can judge if we going biblical? Angel, I'll say this before we go, and Zay, I agree. Sometimes no matter how you change your life, your resume always finds you. Yep. If you don't change your heart, 100%. I'll say this, Anastasia. It's kind of like if a man never hits a woman, right? So he never hits a woman. She gets in his face, she mushes him, she hits him in his chest, and he never hits a woman. Let's say the policeman called to the house 20 times, never hit him. And let's say this one particular time he gets fed up and she records. The cameras in their house, it catches her recording, and he slaps her. So are you telling me when he goes to court, does he deserve to be judged and held accountable for domestic violence, or does he deserve the judge to give him a pass and say, I'm not going to judge you by your one action. I'm going to let everything, I'm going to let it slide. But I'm not, even though I see the evidence, it was domestic violence. You slapped the taste out of her mouth. She hit the table and hit the floor. You're telling me he should not be judged and held accountable for his actions presently?
They're gonna judge by their action present. They're gonna judge right there what they see. They're by the evidence right there.
You have to.
And off his what he say to their judge when they allow for him to talk is how they gonna sentence him. If he get up there and say, Judge, I ain't do nothing wrong. I do it
again.
Judge gonna throw the bullets at him, but if he get up there and say, you know what, Your Honor, my actions were not in a good representation as a man, as a leader, and as a father and a husband. And I want to ask you for mercy. I've learned from my mistakes. The judge gonna sit there and consider and say, you know what, this is a man that see his wrong and he's gonna grow from it. So now I'm gonna extend grace and mercy.
That's fact.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
That's fact.
You know,
Nina had to say open rebuke is better than secret love.
that's how they used to do it back in the day.
Yep.
They used to open rebuke. Man, they used to, and our community was better, MJ.
Yeah.
You can't tell me our communities in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s and 60s was worse. I'm talking about as a community. I ain't talking about civil rights and voting rights. I'm talking about we as black people in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s were better off when we than we are today. Why? Because they used to open rebuke and folks held you accountable, MJ.
Zay, I know we got to go. I'm gonna read the last couple comments. Zay, you're right. If I murder someone at 16 for the rest of my life, I'm known as a murderer. We need to be cognizant of our choices when we're young because your past will follow you. Anastasia said he deserved to have the situation in totality addressed because that is what is considered in court. If it's a first offense, then that's considered. He's still getting addressed for the current action. Listen, that is exactly what I'm saying. He is getting judged off his current action. His accountability and responsibility will be it'll be permitted into the decision, whether he takes accountability and all of that, and how what's the history and all that, of course. But first, before we even get to that, he has to accept accountability and be judged for his actions. And that's the problem with us. We make it too soft. We ain't judging them for the actions, and we trying to make excuses how they was raised. And I don't care about all that, man. You got to come up out of it. So,
MJ, half of these folks don't want to go in the store at night because they're scared of them Thundercats. Why?
Yeah.
Because how they raised, and we don't hold nobody accountable. You scared to go to the store. You scared. You grabbing your purses tight. Be young folks. They don't care none. They don't respect nobody. They can't even say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And we want to give them pass by pass. There's no accountability, MJ. It's no account. Y'all know your grandma now can't go to the store. She's scared to leave her home. Y'all got a lot of older people now scared to leave their homes because these young folks don't care. That goes back to upbringing, MJ. Simply that.
Oh, I know we pause. So we appreciate y'all joining us. We'll see y'all next week. Look, don't forget about the Artifacts Library History Tour. No, Artifacts Library Tour. The DeKalb County Line Library, Ellenwood, Georgia, River Road. So y'all please join us. Govern yourselves accordingly. We appreciate y'all joining us. Y'all enjoy your weekend, enjoy your holidays, spend time with your family.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. We'll see y'all next week.